Hello and welcome to Back in the Day. I'm Dan.
I'm Olga.
And I'm Clara.
And today we are discussing Hocus Pocus on this spooktacular episode. We're going to talk about our memories, our dreams, our thoughts about this classic. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the rumors and news going around about sequels and reboots, and she just dropped her skull.
Oh no, not my skull! Billy, no! Billy!
So,
Hocus Pocus reference.
no, hold on to it.
I'm sorry, Billy.
You weren't allowed to put it down.
So, Clara,
So, Dan.
what are your thoughts about Hocus Pocus / your memories is what I'm asking.
Well, so it's maybe my favorite movie in terms of the amount of love that I feel when I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, watching it here at your house, Dan, is, first of all, one of my earliest memories.
Wow.
Period?
Yeah, because,
Damn.
I mean, so Dan's older sister used to babysit me when I was a kid, and we would watch Halloween movies.
Yes.
No, at all times.
Mostly
of the
just,
year.
yeah.
It was mostly just
Mostly
Double, Toil and Trouble, and Hocus Pocus on repeat.
Both beautiful films.
Wonderful,
Yep.
wonderful pieces of cinema, and just
Which
joy.
reminds me, I'm going to interject for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Which reminds me, we forgot to put on our outline the fact that this is a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fuck that. Oh, am I not allowed to
No,
say
you
that?
can totally say that.
Fuck that.
Shit.
Yes. I was looking at a few of the quotes and stuff. What was up people's asses at this point?
I don't know,
Like,
maybe they...
A good economy.
Like, I mean, I guess, like, maybe the like, idea that, like, kids' movies could actually be good wasn't a thing
The
that
being
people
goofy
understood yet.
and fun
Yeah.
it immediately makes it, like, stupid, I
Yeah.
guess.
So, my dad is, like, one of the most
Stodgy.
Well, he's a
Got it on...
harpsichordist, and he...
Oh, whoa.
And he, like, he really likes Bach,
Mhm.
and he doesn't like watching, like, junk, right?
Yeah.
He loves Hocus Pocus.
Who doesn't?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
except
know.
apparently
Yeah.
70% of fucking movie
Critics.
Really
Fuck
stupid
that.
ass.
What do they know?
They're idiots.
Fucking nothing.
Can't argue for taste.
Do you want to say anything else about your history?
No, I
Okay,
love
cool.
it. I love that movie.
Good
Great
times.
movie.
So, on me, I don't have as much of a personal, this is a great thing.
Yeah, Dan didn't
Yeah.
come downstairs
Um,
and watch with us.
Nah, I mean, I think I did a couple times. But I just think it's a really fun movie, and I think it's, like, a classic, and one of those things I look back on about, like, they don't make them like this anymore.
Yeah.
It gets a really nice mixture of being family-friendly, at least, I mean, in my opinion, I would have no problems with my kids watching this at a young age.
Oh, no.
Like, yes, there are things that some people would have an issue with now, and we could talk about the fact that, like, now they do censor some stuff out and stuff like that.
Allegedly.
But I just think it's...
Who am I defending with that? Allegedly.
Objection.
Overruled.
But it's just a really nice thing because it doesn't feel overly, like, sterilized for kids. It's just really funny, and it's just a nice adventure.
Yeah. To speak to my own history with it, I think the first time I saw it was either on Disney Channel or something like ABC Family before it was Freeform when I was a kid. And I kind of had a similar thing with my mom as with your dad, in that my mom a lot of the time would just be like, oh, you're watching one of your, like, silly kids movies, and would leave, and I'd have the TV. But this was one of those movies that she would, like, sit through repeatedly with me because she loved it, and it was good. And it's not so much that she was picky, it's just a lot of kids' movies and TV, especially, like, Halloween cheesiness, isn't to a grown-up's taste. Well, we're grown-ups now, and this is to our taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not even... there are movies and things that, like, as I got older, I'm like, well, this isn't actually good.
It
but
did
I
hold
just
up.
I just rewatched Hocus Pocus for the first time in many years at this point.
How
and
do you go so long without
Well, many years, I really mean, like, maybe 5. Not like it's, like, been a
That's
decade.
still, why
That's
don't
a
you watch it every
long-
year?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I spent like 2 years watching it every day.
Whoa.
That was Lion King for me. I think it totally holds up. It's a really fun movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, do you guys have Bette Midler feelings or connections just in general, or did this introduce you to her?
I don't know if this introduced me to her, but it was definitely one of my earlier things of, like, definitely seeing her as a main character, or like for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think there was another movie where it was like Wings or something like that. I don't know. Like she sang an iconic song, and I don't see, like, that's what I mean. Like, I know that she was in things.
Yep.
But this is like the epitome of Bette Midler.
And she thinks so too.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for her.
Oh,
Yeah, she
Bet.
really liked
Miss Midler, as
Miss
was
Midler.
in the credits. She had her own. That was something I
Her own team, basically. Yeah.
never noticed before. Her own, like, makeup and hair team.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Like, yeah, and they were referred to as Miss Midlers, such and such in the credits. Like, dang, respect.
Yeah, that's like what I aspire to,
Yeah.
you know?
Someone just following you around and being like,
Yeah.
I'm here for Miss Clara.
Miss Clara's hair.
Next on the docket is talking about our favorite moments, things that are characters that we love, scenes that we love. Clara?
I love it all.
Yeah, seriously, as we were walking, she was like, this is my favorite scene. This is my favorite scene.
And not just that, but you were, like, saying the words along with the scene.
Yeah, when I say I love this movie, I really love this movie.
Yeah.
But, maybe my favorite scene... Well, no, my favorite scene is the very beginning when it's in the olden times. Because
Yeah.
I like the olden times.
She's an old soul.
Yeah. And... yeah, and then, my other favorite scene is when they're in the kiln and they come out and they're speaking French.
That's
Like,
so
that's
good.
a great moment.
Yeah,
Oh.
good. Did they ever explain why the kiln didn't work?
It's just their magic, and they weren't defeated by magic
Okay.
purposes. Like, their essence and
Yeah.
aura was still up there.
All
Yeah,
right.
for the full...
Okay.
Until the candle goes out. I guess
sense,
they're
makes
like
sense.
anchored to the candle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Binks is fantastic and
Oh,
very memorable
yeah.
as a kid. And I think one of the things that I was saying once we were walking this time is that Thora Birch, who plays the sister, what's her sister's name? Danny? Danny is like the glue of the film in a lot of ways,
yeah.
especially for until the Wicked show up. She is by far like the best actor in the film,
And she's still good. Like, she
Yeah.
holds her own.
Yeah. Oh,
Usually, a lot of the time, those like younger sibling characters can be so grating on your nerves, and you feel more with the older sibling.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's still true. I can't remember. I never had little siblings. Like, what my thoughts were as a kid, but you definitely don't really find her annoying, and their relationship feels realistic
Yeah.
and
It really
sweet
does.
and cute.
And it's a big part of why this movie works.
I agree.
Is because it when you're doing these crazy things and it's fantastical, but not even just fantastical, the fact that it's like goofy. If you have to have some sort of center that you can buy into as just like a normal human connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And just in general, I miss Thora Birch. She's great in American Beauty, Ghost World, so many other things, and I wish she was around more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're curious about what happened to her, read up on her career, and it's interesting. Yeah.
Your favorites?
My favorites, I mean, I had, in my mind, forever will be ingrained the I put a spell on you
Oh, yeah.
scene. Like, that is just so truly wonderful and creative and great, and I love it when music is incorporated into movies, and it just works.
Yeah.
It works.
It didn't feel forced, which I think is
No,
really nice of
and
her.
I mean, of course, you have Bette Midler. You use her.
You use Ms. Midler.
Miss Midler. But just beyond that, there were so many little things that I forgot about or never noticed because I was too young. Just like kind of the background talk, mostly like Mary, the sister, of like her little like comments of supporting Winifred, and it's just like, oh, the lines are so funny. The writing is so witty.
Yeah. I love the bus driver section. I think that's pretty funny.
That's your favorite. I like the bus driver.
Oh, yeah.
And those are also my opinions on women.
I like the Yabbos.
Yeah,
Oh,
them
God.
Yabbos.
Is this a good time to talk about Yabbos?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so something we were talking about, a very important
Yabbos.
feature of the movie
Our
is
Yabbos.
Our Yabbos.
They're another thing that tie the whole movie together.
Yeah, you're
Give it a
right.
human-esque.
human.
So true.
So was we were talking about Sarah Jessica Parker's character, who's Sarah, right?
Sarah.
And I was like, does Sarah Jessica Parker have boobs like that? Like, I don't feel like she does, but they look like they're really large. And
I mean, she's corseted and it's like hiked up, and I don't think that I've seen like Sex in the City when it's edited down for cable.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, she doesn't wear bras. Like, okay, there's something visible there on E. Like,
yeah. I think it's that sort of like movie magic makeup stuff where it's contoured boobs.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, because I never heard of that.
Yeah. So Keira Knightley has said, like, in interviews, something along the lines of, like, ever notice how great my boobs look in Pirates of the Caribbean? Surprise!
Yes, I did.
They're not like that.
Yeah.
Well, they also Photoshop her for stills and things like that, too. But
to a certain degree, I mean, okay, stop me here, because I haven't really thought this through, but, like, to a certain degree, that's kind of nice that, like, they could have an actor, like, if they want a certain look, they don't have to actually look that way, they can hire someone based on not that.
I mean,
You take this, Olga.
Thanks, Clara. I mean, I suppose, but it's also, like, what does this say about our culture that, like, the marketability of an actress or a movie relies on her physique and her body?
It's also, like, you can be this skinny and have boobs like
that's the other thing. You want to be her, you will be everything. But
even she's not her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to bring us back to the subject of the overall movie, going back to Sarah / Sarah Jessica Parker, we noticed that she was really, like, not just nymphomaniac, but, like, pedophilic.
Yeah. And I guess you don't notice as a kid because the teenagers are
Look
older
so
than
old,
you. So you're like, oh yeah, like the cool grown-up teenagers. And you don't
like,
notice, like, adult.
Yeah.
And now,
well, and I think there's also the aspect of that, like I was saying, if this was 3 men doing all the same things, it would become a lot creepier.
So
which is an interesting thing about the double standard, because even while noticing the double standard, I still, like, am so ingrained in it where it doesn't feel as weird with Sarah Jessica Parker doing this as it would if it was a guy doing it to...
A warlock doing it to...
to the... Who's the girl character? Allison. Yeah, if there was, like, a 50-year-old guy doing this to Allison or something, it would be really upsetting.
Yeah. But that... isn't what happened, and it is humorous when it does.
Do you think that part of that, because, like, we were definitely noticing it as weird upon rewatch.
Yeah.
Do you think any of that is, like, history, like, was that, like, in the 90s, it was totally cool. Like,
I think that's still recent of, like, women can't be predatory.
Yeah.
It's comedy that when women are predatory.
Yeah.
It's still, you can still find that joke around a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, well, there's even an aspect of... I'm not saying that, like, everybody says this, but I think a certain section of people would say we deserve to have our spot doing this now because men have done this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like
we deserve to have our shot at being predators.
Like, it's a feminist statement to show that women can be sexual. In that sense.
Okay, I jumped a few levels in my brain without saying them out loud. But I was thinking about, like, maybe a less intense version of this, where it's like there are lots of, like, old 90s movie, like, old 80s and stuff movies where men would do things that are, like, if now they did them in a movie, it'd be like, well, that's really messed up.
Yeah.
But I feel like if a girl did them, it'd be like, oh, now the girls are finally getting to do the stuff that the guys did.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a little bit more weird when we're talking about pedophilia.
I'm like, no one should have this one. Let's just.
Well, so it's like the Gone Girl argument, right? Is that, like, you want to be able to have female, like, terrible
psychos.
people because it's not.
You want to have everything.
Yeah. So what are some other things that we noticed?
One of the things I did notice is I really love the bullies, and the blonde bully really reminds me of James Franco now, and I'm not sure how.
Like the same face.
Yeah, very similar looking.
So I looked into them because I was like, they look familiar. And what was it, Earl or Ernie / Ice? Yeah, he was the bully. I think we talked about this when we were watching it. He was the bully on Buffy.
Really?
Wait, that was him.
The gay one.
Yeah, the gay one. Spoiler for a show from the 90s. Interesting. Blowed your...
I'm sorry. That blowed my mind.
Loaded.
And the one who plays Jay, the one that you're referring to... James Franco. J for James Franco. He is still, like, a working actor.
Oh, really?
And he was most recently on Stranger Things.
Really?
He played one of the agents who's, like, going after 11.
Oh, interesting.
Good for him. And he was on an episode of NCIS, which is the show that Binks, the actor who plays Binks, is
Do you
on
think they're
and, like,
friends?
important. I don't know, but
I
I'd
hope
like
so.
to think they are.
I hope so.
In my headcanon.
I hope
I
they're
really
just stealing
hope
each
so.
other's shoes all the time.
Aw.
He didn't steal Binks's shoes.
Binks was a cat, he didn't wear shoes.
But the bully,
Even when he was a human, he
they
actually
like
didn't wear
stealing
shoes.
shoes,
Yeah.
and he'd steal anyone's shoes.
My God, there was so... Speaking of the
Only
shoes,
Nike trainers.
Yeah, there's so much product placement in this movie.
So much, I think, is an exaggeration.
No, I mean, they're talking about
Nike,
candy.
Nike.
They're talking about candy by name. That you can see sodas.
That's true. I forgot
You
about the
can
candy
see.
part, yeah.
There was something else I noticed that now is like I'm blanking on,
Yeah.
but like it's in there. It's
Yeah.
not insignificant.
They should have, like, really zoomed in on the vacuum thing.
Yeah, right.
Can I talk about an issue that's near and dear to my heart?
Yes.
I know what this is gonna be.
So, in the beginning scene, first with Thackeray, and then, all right, let's first just talk about Thackeray.
Thackeray,
Right?
your
Thackeray,
favorite.
like, is at the window, and he's like looking down. He's like on the second floor of the house, right? And his face is just dripping wet. It's
He was in the
dripping wet.
stream. He climbed through the stream onto the well. It was not.
But like, why doesn't he wipe off his? I swear, it's sweat. It's sweat. It's not water. It's sweat.
Her entire life, she thought he was just drenched in sweat.
It's really not sweat.
I was telling-
You see, it's linear.
I was like, Olga, like, can you believe how much sweat is on Thackeray's face? And Olga's like,
Just
you
think.
idiot. That's water. He was just in a river.
That is paraphrasing, and it was a stream.
Just think
It's
how much
actually-
more your crush on him would have been if you didn't think he was sweating all these
Yeah,
years.
it's true. I had a massive crush
When
on
was the
Thackeray.
other time that you thought that that someone was excessively sweaty?
And
And you were again bringing this up to me.
with Jay and Ice when they were in the
Oh,
beaches.
Yeah.
When they were captured by the Sandersons.
Okay, in my defense, they're above a boiling
Yeah, no,
cauldron.
it looks like, so what, where they weren't sweating? I'm trying
No,
to
they
remember.
were
crying.
She's like, look, they're sweating. I'm like, yeah, sweating out of their eyes. They're crying right now. They think they're about to be murdered. Like, you could see it was just coming from here, and it was both of them. And they were both
Your
like, "Yeah."
sweat would also come from
No,
near
that's
there.
not. It does not. I don't know about you, but
Welcome
mine
to the Sweatcast, a podcast about moisture.
Forget going spooky. This is now going sweaty.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like, this
so-
is a topic of contention and debate.
I will say, you mentioned the thing with the crushes. I think a lot of kids watching this movie had crushes on one. There was a number of
Yeah.
possibilities of crushes in this.
For me, it was only ever Thackeray.
Yeah.
For you as the bus driver.
Yeah, oh yeah, hubba hubba.
Wait, did you have a crush on Allison?
Obviously. She's pretty great.
So why didn't you keep rewatching the movie?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the Yabbos thing was great, but
There were other Yabbos in the world.
What about you, Olga?
I mean, I don't think I actually did. You know, it was probably cat Banks.
cat thing.
I wasn't like a weird furry, but like the voice was
No, it
like I
doesn't
was.
sound like that at all.
I promise. No, I was like
His
kind.
voice is good.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I was one of those like girls who's like, it's an accent.
Yeah.
Like,
The other thing is she was younger than us, so like
Yeah.
the age difference is.
actually, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure I saw it when I was a little older. Like, I don't think I saw it at age like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I might have actually seen it for the first time when I was closer to 10.
And yeah, and the question is when we saw it, because if it was '93, then you and I were only.
Oh,
like-
no, we definitely
yeah,
didn't
we were
see it.
very
I was
young.
negative
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I was but a twinkle in someone's eye.
Billy's?
Billy.
Billy was great.
Billy's so good. That's
Billy's
another
really
highlight
good.
of things I didn't know or notice
Yeah.
until I was older or on rewatches of like how many, not just Bette Midler and how important she was, but just the general like quality of the cast
Yeah.
and the acting among the adults. Like there's a cameo by Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall and playing husband and wife, but actually brother and sister.
Mhm.
There was a different cameo that now is spilling out of my head. Oh yeah, Billy. So what was I going to say?
Billy.
It's the guy who plays Billy is Doug Jones, and he's known for doing a lot of like physical work where his face is covered, and he does all the Guillermo del Toro movies where he's in costume and full costume,
Yeah.
where like he's a lot of the time, most of the time he is not playing a man with his own face. He's known for this costume work and character work, kind of like Andy Serkis. So like, wow, even he was in this. I love it.
I mean, it's interesting because I definitely noticed the amount of physical comedy in this.
So much.
And I'm wondering, because we know Kenny Ortega was involved heavily in this,
He was the director.
Was he the actual director?
He was the director.
Yeah, so like, maybe that is a part of it with the choreography. Maybe like, as far as the way he was directing them, I'm sure a lot of it was about the physicality.
Yeah.
And the way they walk is so iconic. And
the walk. The Sanderson sister walk. Oh.
So many things in this movie are just iconic. I mean, it's really great.
I know.
It's not, and Halloween Town, love Halloween Town, but like, not the same
No,
level.
not even remotely the same level. We talked about that yesterday, and Halloween Town is a really fun premise. This is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's Halloween Town is not like a good movie. It's a fun movie. I have warmness. Like that's one of those ones that I was talking about where it's like watching it while I'm older. Yes, I feel the nostalgia, but I'm not like, oh, what a grand film. You know, like
this was a feature film. It had a feature film budget.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah, and the acting. I mean, the acting's a whole nother level than a lot of the decoms.
But you know, it has its cheesy moments. Yeah. You can't deny that.
It's completely cheesy.
Yeah. The music can be very, like, it's great sometimes, and other times, like, oh, okay, calm it down a little bit.
But it's great because it's so self-aware, too.
Yeah.
Even at its cheesiest, it's like, see, we're fun. It's fun. It's like eating candy. Like, really good candy, you know?
But you don't get sick.
Yeah, you don't get sick.
No.
It's perfect.
You never get sick of it. You just watch it over and over.
I did.
Something that we had talked about was you had brought up, actually, why... in the very beginning, as the intro, it's the teacher. She's talking about how that Thackeray Binks was turned into a cat.
Yeah.
And you were like, how, if he can't talk to, you know,
to adult,
which is another theory, but it's like, if he's not talking to anybody, then how do they know that this happened?
Right.
And then my theory was, because we didn't see him talking to the adults at the party, that Thackeray can't talk to adults, he can only talk to children. Only they can hear him, and maybe in the past, again, he's been protecting the candle from being lit for 300 years. So over those years, I'm sure there were virgins trying to light it, and he scared them away or something, and the legend got passed, but because it was coming from children, maybe it wasn't taken seriously. It
became a legend as opposed to us,
like, oh, haha, he's a cat.
Like this,
So I think that makes sense. I mean, it's definitely us filling in the blanks, unless someone already talked about this.
The grand mythology.
Yeah. Unless,
good
like,
headcanon.
Yeah, it's my headcanon.
That's great.
So, I want to talk about the virgin thing, because this is sort of the weird... Like, I remember seeing tweets about it, like, throughout, like, I feel like almost every Halloween when people are walking and people are tweeting about it, it's like, man, this is, like, totally anti-virgin. This is, like, kind of fun. It's like, being a virgin just ruins everything. And I think it's actually really an interesting...
Never seen these tweets.
Oh, really? I was seeing, like, I was seeing critics and stuff talk, like, making fun of it and joking about it.
Maybe it has not stuck with me.
So, I just think it's really interesting in response to the fact that the 80s were so heavily having sex kills you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was, like, almost every horror movie. Now, obviously, this isn't, like, a horror movie, but the fact that they were bringing up the virgin aspect at all, that it was the reverse.
Yeah.
And that it was, you know, him with his bumbling virgin ways, and he isn't, like, a strong, real man, and then you have Allison, who you feel like they are heavily implying isn't a virgin.
I think it's implied, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I just think that that's an interesting thing in contrast to what had been coming the decade before.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it in that.
Yeah,
that way.
And I would argue, even when the trope was called out in the 90s, it still continued a lot.
Well, the problem is that it became a thing that, like, that was the trope. Like, it was just like...
You had to hit it.
You had, like, it was like, this is part of the DNA of the genre now. Right. And so, like, people who are nostalgic for the genre, paying homage to the genre, would end up falling back into that thing. And I don't think most of them were necessarily having the same cultural feelings about virginity.
Yeah.
But it was more about not really thinking through what you were doing because you were just following the formula.
Yeah.
Alright, so this video is going on longer than I expected because these guys just love Hocus Pocus so much. And we're gonna break this into two parts because now we want to start talking about the news that came out recently about the future of the Hocus Pocus franchise. So we're gonna do a video about that. I'm not sure right now as we record this when that's gonna be up, but I'll put it in the text here when I'm editing. And in the meantime, please subscribe to our channel. Please leave us your favorite memories in the comments below and your thoughts about Hocus Pocus. Thanks, guys.